So in this video, we will learn how to create an employee in Freshteam from Google Sheet. Now suppose guys you are using Freshteam to manage all your employee data and HR related activities. And from various different sources, you are getting your new employee details, your HR department is getting new employee details. And adding those new employees into Freshteam can be a challenging task. So using this automation guys, all you have to do is to enter the details of a new employee from your various sources into a Google Sheet. And as they add the data, instantly, automatically using those details, a new employee has been created in your Freshteam's account. Interesting, right? Now how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get the free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give your workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Sheets to Freshteam. And then just click on Create. Now we can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. So the idea here is first we have to get the details or the data of new employee which we are entering in our Google Sheet inside Pabbly Connect. Then after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send that new employee data to Freshteam so that we can create a new employee over there automatically. Now to begin with, here in trigger window, in choose app, we have to first search for Google Sheets. Just a second, Google Sheets it is. And then in trigger event from the drop down, select new or updated spreadsheet row. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now we are going to use this webhook URL to make the connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. And how you can do that? You can refer to the help text given below over here to know. So just copy this webhook URL from here and then go to the Google Sheet where you are adding your new employee data. So this is my Google Sheet. The name of the sheet is new employee data and these are the fields of new employee details which I am adding into this sheet. After reaching to your sheet, just go to extensions, add-ons and click on get add-ons. Now you can see that we have reached to Google Workspace Marketplace. And here in search app, you have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Pabbly, Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, this add-on is already installed in my Google Sheet. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheet. And after that, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. After refreshing it, the next thing what we have to do is once again go to extension and this time Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This add-on can be seen over here. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. After clicking on Initial Setup, here it comes a dialog box in front of us. And this box is asking 3 basic details from us. The first thing, it is selected sheet. That in your Google Sheet, in your spreadsheet, it is most likely possible that you may have multiple sheets. So from which sheet you want to send the data, you have to select that sheet over here. So right now in this Google Sheet, I have only one sheet named as sheet 1. That's why by default it has selected sheet 1. Then it is asking us for the webhook URL. So here in webhook URL, we have to paste the same webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. And after that, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now here you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last data entry column of a Google Sheet in which a data exists. So just for the reference, in the background you can see that column I will be my trigger column because it is the last data entry column in which my data exists. After column I, in none of the column any of my data does not exist. So here column I will be my trigger column. Basically, E, F, G, H, I, J, any column could be your trigger column. Just ensure that it is the last data entry column in which your data exists. And after entering your trigger column, click on Send Test. So as we click on Send Test, it is showing us test data sent successfully. And the data of the first employee after headers which we have added in the first row after headers, the same data is sent to Pabbly Connect. So it is showing us test data sent successfully. Click on Submit. And after that, just close this. Once again, go to Extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks and click on send on events. So by clicking on send on events, we are telling this add-on, we are telling this Google Sheet that whenever in a new row, a new data is added till our trigger column, we have to instantly send that data to Pabbly Connect. So whenever in a new row, till our trigger column, the data will be added, the data will be instantly sent. And because we have connected Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect, we will see in our Pabbly Connect workflow, here we have received some response. And in this response, we can see the details of the same employee, what we have entered into the first row of a Google Sheet. So here we can see that we have the same phone number of the employee, same email address, same last name, gender, first name. After that, we can see the same employee ID, designation, date of joining, and date of birth. So the same details of the employee which we have added in our Google Sheet, the same data is received inside Pabbly Connect. So step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. The connection of Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect is done. Now let's move to step 2 and let's send this data to Freshteam so that using these details, we can create a new employee over there. For that, just scroll down and come to your action window. And here in Choose App, we have to search for Freshteam. Select Freshteam over here. After that, in Action Event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create an Employee. Just select this and click on Connect. Select Add New Connection. And here guys, we have to enter or connect our Freshteam's account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, it requires the API token of our Freshteam account and the account name. Now first, to get the account name, you just have to go to your Freshteam account, and here in URL section, after https:// and before .freshteam, this is your account name. Just select this account name, copy it from here and paste it over here. And to get the API key, just go back to your Freshteam account, and here just click on this field of profile and click on API key. Just select I'm not a robot, of course. And then you can see the API key of your Freshteam's account. Just copy this API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. And click on Save. And as we click on Save, we can see that our Freshteam account gets connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the first name, middle name, last name, and some details of the employee which we want to create in Freshteam. So we have entered all of these basic details of the employee in our Google Sheet. And we have received the Google Sheet data, the Google Sheet response in Pabbly Connect. So from these responses, one by one, we have to map the data in their respective fields. So let's start with first name. So here we have to map the first name. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field, and in the drop down below, we can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Sheets can be seen over here. And out of all of these responses, select the response of first name and it will be mapped in this field. So in this way, whatever whatever first name we enter in our Google Sheet in this first name column of the employee, the same name will be mapped over here, and using the same name, a new employee will be created. And the same way, we have to map the data in other fields as well. So we don't have the middle name, so we are just going to ignore it. And let's begin with start name once again. So let's click here, and from the drop down below from the Google Sheet responses, select the response of last name and map it over here. After that, we have to enter the official email address. For that, just click here, and from the drop down below from the response of official email address, just map it. Then it is asking us role ID. So in the drop down below, we have several different roles over here from our Freshteam's account. So because using this automation, we are adding employees. So that's why I'm just going to select the role ID as employee. So every user or every person who is being created in our or added in our Freshteam's account using this automation will be added as an employee. This is a stagnant value, static value. If you want to change it, if you also want to create a column of the job role or role ID in your Google Sheet, you can basically turn this mapping button on and map that data over here as well. Then it is asking us for the employee ID. So here we have entered the employee ID in Google Sheet as well. So we are just going to map it over there. From the drop down below, select the response of employee ID. Okay, this is it, and map it over here. Then it is asking us employee type. So it's a full-time employee. Work phone number, we have entered the phone number as well. So just from the drop down, map it. Then it is asking us date of birth. So we are just going to click on this field, and from the drop down below, select the response of date of birth of the employee and map it. The help text below it says date of birth of the employee specified in the date format. So we have a specified format that in which format we want the date of birth of the employee, that is year, month and day. Then it is asking us for the designation. So from the drop down below, map date designation, and at last the joining date. This is the joining date. So in this way, you can basically map the data or enter the data in other fields as well. You just have to create columns for that data in your Google Sheet, get that response in Pabbly Connect and map that data over here. And after mapping all of these details like the address and other details of the new employee, just click on Save and Send Test Request. Now when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here we can see that we have received some response. And in this response, we can see that the details of the employee which we have mapped over here, basically the employee whose data we have entered in our Google Sheet is now created as an employee in our Freshteam's account as well. So let's check it. We will go to our Freshteam's account, we'll go to Employee section, Employee Directory, and here we just have to search for the employee. So we are going to search for this employee with its email address. Let's copy this email address from here and paste it over here. And yes guys, here we can see that a new employee has been created in our Freshteam's account. We have the same name, dummy user, same position, same employee ID which we have entered in our Google Sheet. Then we have the email address, mobile number and other details of this employee as well. It's a full-time employee, employment status and all of those details. Now this means guys, this automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. We just have to enter the details of our employee into our Google Sheet and then automatically using those details, a new employee will be created in our Freshteam's account. So in this way, from various sources, you can keep on adding the employee details in the Google Sheet and keep on automatically adding those employee into your Freshteam's account. So now guys, we know that the automation which we have created is working perfectly fine. Now let's test this automation once in real time. So in our Google Sheet, we are going to enter the details of a new employee. For example, let's change the employee ID this time. Okay, so these are the details of a new employee over here, which we have added in as a new row in our Google Sheet. And now as we add this data, as we add these details, we will see instantly, automatically using these details, a new employee will be created in our Freshteam's account. Let's go to Freshteam's, go to Employees page. Let's refresh this page once. And then let's search for this employee with the email address. This is the same email address which we have entered. And yes guys, here we can see that the same employee has been created in our Freshteam's account with the same name, test Pabbly, same designation, same employee code, and same other details. Whatever data which we enter in our Google Sheet of a new employee, using those details, an employee has been created in our Freshteam's account. So guys, now we can see that the automation workflow which we have created, we have tested it and it is working perfectly fine in real time. So guys, not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. And also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a forever free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down to your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.